Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about a flurry of coaching staff changes that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have made for their 2025 staff. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. First things first, Mike Caldwell is back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's been away from a couple of seasons. He went to Jacksonville as their DC, then he went to the Las Vegas Raiders to be their linebackers coach, but he's back with the Bucs now. He is back as inside linebackers coach. He held this role under Bruce Arians before Todd Bowles got promoted to head coach from 2019 to 2021. We'll talk about the impact of Mike Caldwell coming back in a moment, but also Kefense Hinson's role as pass game coordinator is official now in this offense. Charlie Strong as defensive line coach is now official. We've already talked about those moves. We don't have to continue to talk about them anymore. Kevin Carberry got promoted to run game coordinator and offensive line coach. He already had the role of offensive line coach, but now he is the run game coordinator. Brian Picucci, the assistant offensive line coach, has now been promoted to full offensive line coach, so congratulations to him. Here's the other big one, though. Larry Foote is now transitioning to run game coordinator. He was the defensive pass game coordinator. He has now moved to defensive run game coordinator, and he is back at outside linebackers coach, okay? George Edwards has had that role the past 2 years. George Edwards has now been moved over to pass game coordinator on defense. That was Larry Foote's old role, okay? So also just a couple of other smaller moves. Jordan Somerville now has the title of pass game specialist as well as assistant quarterbacks coach, and Jeff Castle got promoted to assistant tight ends coach. He was an offensive quality control coach in the past, okay? But the two big moves here, in my opinion, are Mike Caldwell coming back and Larry Foote going back to coaching outside linebackers. Those are two very positive, very huge moves, in my opinion, okay? And I'm going to talk about why. Let's first start off with the inside linebackers, okay? Now, again, as it stated, from 2019 to 2021, Mike Caldwell was the inside linebackers coach for the Buccaneers, okay? Here are the two starting linebackers for the Bucs in Devin White and Levante David. Here's how they did during those 3 years, okay? Devin White from 2019 to 2021 had 45 games played, 45 games started. He had 1 interception, he had 4 forced fumbles, 10 passes deflected, 6 fumbles recovered, 2 of which were for touchdowns, 15 sacks, 359 combined tackles, 27 tackles for loss, and 39 quarterback hits, okay? Levante David, during that 3-year stretch, had played in 44 games, started 44 games, 2 interceptions, 16 passes deflected, 8 forced fumbles, 4 fumbles recovered, 4.5 sacks, 337 combined tackles, 27 tackles for loss, and 27 quarterback hits. I do think it is also pretty notable that after Mike Caldwell left, yes, Devin White still had a pretty solid 2022 season, but he also took a bit of a dip in 2023 as well, right? That's notable in my opinion. I do think that this is great to see, right, for this Buccaneers defense. You've also seen some other guys make some plays at inside linebacker the past couple of years as well, like J.J. Russell's developed a little bit to a certain degree under Mike Caldwell, so to speak. Of course, they won the Super Bowl in 2020, but you know that kind of is what it is. But point being is that I think this is good for the inside linebacker room to have Mike Caldwell back. He was a very significant assistant, in my opinion. And I think it's good that he's back coaching the inside linebackers. Kevin Minter also was another guy who did some really good work for the Bucs in 2021 in that last year under Caldwell, okay? But Larry Foote going back to coaching outside linebackers is really huge, in my opinion, okay? Let's take a look at how the outside linebackers did under Larry Foote in those 3 years, okay? Firstly, in the case of outside linebackers in 2019, guys, listen to this. Shaq Barrett obviously had that 19.5 sack season. Jason Pierre-Paul had 8.5 sacks that year, playing in 10 games, starting 8. Carl Nassib had 6 sacks that year. All 3 of those guys were the top 3 in sacks, okay? So firstly, looking at year 1 of Larry Foote at outside linebackers coach, looks great. right? It looks absolutely fantastic. You saw those guys really go out there and be able to bring a lot of pressure, okay? What about the second year? Well, let's take a look at it. Geez, top 3 guys, listen, in sacks in 2020. Jason Pierre-Paul was number 1 at 9.5. Whenever Larry Foote was the outside linebackers coach. Devin White was number 2 with 9 sacks whenever Mike Caldwell was the inside linebackers coach. Shaq Barrett was number 3 with 8 sacks whenever Larry Foote was the outside linebackers coach. So again, you're seeing them get after the quarterback super consistently and very well, in my opinion, okay? That final year, 2021, where Caldwell and Larry Foote still both had their roles. Shaq Barrett had 10 sacks. That was first on the team. And Ndamukong Suh was second with 6 sacks. Third was Anthony Nelson with 5 sacks. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka had 4 sacks that year as well, by the way. That was his first season in the NFL. Also, that is tied for the second most sacks in JTS's career, by the way. He's only had more than 4 sacks once. That was in 2023 when he had 5. So point being is that the pass rush in the inside linebacker play was much better, and you saw guys doing very well under Larry Foote and under Mike Caldwell. Devin White looked better. Levante David was still showing a lot of really good play. Devin White looked a whole heck of a lot better. Carl Nassib was growing and developing. JTS was starting to get some stuff going. Shaq Barrett still looked fantastic, right? As did Jason Pierre-Paul. Anthony Nelson was still showing and growing and developing under Larry Foote as well. So it's just something to note, man. It's something to pay attention to, that like these guys are good in those roles, in my opinion. Right? And I do think that these are huge moves for the outside edge rushing linebacker pass rush, which was admittedly has been pretty rough the past couple of seasons, especially this past year has not been great. And the inside linebacker play has not been great as well. So getting back Caldwell and putting Larry Foote back into those roles where they have been successful is great in my opinion, especially in an offseason where the Bucs are going to have to do a lot of work in those linebacker rooms to add some pieces at outside edge rushing linebacker and at inside linebacker as well. So I'm pumped up about this. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions about this down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.